This is home to the customs office. All the contraband, substances and drugs, the illegal stuff, which makes their way into the UK when it's not meant to, it's taken to the building on the right and it is meant to be incinerated. Now have a look on top of the building. You're going to notice 6 black chimneys. Now ladies and gentlemen, I have worked on this river for quite a long time and I have never seen a puff of smoke from any of those chimneys. We do hear regularly their Christmas parties are absolutely spectacular. So this is the customs house on the right here. If you go over to your left hand side, all these buildings lining the south shore of the Thames, very close to the river's edge, these are all owned by one family, a very wealthy royal Kuwaiti family. They got the hospital, which you see, London Bridge Hospital, specialise in heart attacks. They've even got their own police force. The Kuwaiti family, they own a lot there on the left. If you go to your right hand side, the sandy coloured building with the fish weather vanes on the top, this is the old Billingsgate fish market. There has been a fish market on this site for over 600 years. Now due to growth today, they've had to move that market now. They've moved it further down the river to a place called the Isle of Dogs. If you are familiar with the Cockney actor Michael Caine, well, he was from this area on your left, and this is where he was founded as a young man working in the old Billingsgate fish market. His actual real name is Maurice Micklewhite. Changed his name for the films to Michael Caine. We have the bridge ahead of us here. This is London Bridge. Before we get to London Bridge, look in the gap of these buildings and very shortly you're going to see a stone column with a golden candle on the top. The stone column that you see is Sir Christopher Wren's monument, and it is a monument to the Great Fire of London. If you was to lay that monument down on its side, that's going to fall on exactly where the fire started, which was in Pudding Lane, the bakery shop, back in 1666. This is the monument, Great Fire of London. We mentioned the bridge here. This is London Bridge. I can assure you it's London Bridge, and they've even written it on the side. London Bridge is often mistaken for Tower Bridge. That's the one you see behind you. This is the most historic one we pass through today. Over 2,000 years of history on this stretch of the Thames. If you go over to your left hand side, I know we've got a few Americans on this boat today. But over here to your left, there is a cathedral. This is Southwark Cathedral. Baptised in that cathedral, a young American man. His name was John Harvard. As he grew an older man, he became the co-founder of the top university known as the Harvard University. If you stay to your left hand side, this area to your left, they call this the Stews of London. This used to be the red light district of the city. Used to get your illegal gambling here, your bear baiting and dog fighting. That used to happen on the left in the Stews of London. But have a look over here to your right. You see that little glass box under the bridge here to the right? This is a luxury health and relaxation spa. When the architect built the spa, he thought he was being clever. He thought he could hide it under the bridge. He didn't think anyone could look into the spa. He completely forgot about all the passenger boats which go up and down the Thames every single day. Now some days, ladies and gentlemen, when we look into the spa, we see half naked people. Some days the views, they are very good. Some days we wish we never looked. And other days we go around in circles within this part of the Thames. Luxury spa there on the right. We're just going to go through Cannon Street here. This is Cannon Street Railway Bridge. As we go through the bridge, look over there to the left. There's a nice old pub there. The Anchor Tavern at Bankside was founded in 1615. It makes it just over 400 years old. Produced some very good films in there over the years. Films such as Getting Him to the Greek, Mission Impossible, James Bond, all filmed in that pub. Me and my friend the captain, who is driving the boats, we spend a lot of time in that pub. We visit that pub after work every single night. We do research in the pub, and we research the commentary we provide you all. It takes hours and hours. It's all for your benefit. Great place for research. We're just going to go through Southwark here. This is Southwark Road Bridge. Now as we go through Southwark, look over there to your left hand side. Can you see the staircase coming down to the river? That staircase is called Wren Stairs. And this is how people, they got around the river before we had the piers and the bridges. A Thames waterman, just like myself, the captain, we would have went alongside that staircase in a rowing vessel, collected the passengers, taken them to other staircases on the Thames. They were called wherries a long time ago. We have Shakespeare's Globe there to your left, the white timber building with the thatch roof. This is the only building in London today to have a thatch roof. Since the Great Fire, which we spoke about at Monument, the material thatch is highly flammable. We don't use it on buildings today. You could go and see a play in there very soon. They're going to start again April the 23rd, Shakespeare's birthday. They run all the way through to the end of October. The capacity of that theatre, 4,000 people. 2,000 of those people, they are standing tickets. If you're willing to stand at the Globe to watch a play, the price for those are just £5 per person. This is great value for money, I'm sure you'd all agree. £5 live entertainment in London, Shakespeare's Globe, from April the 23rd. If we follow this bridge to the right hand side, you've got another one of Sir Christopher Wren's buildings. This is St Paul's Cathedral. St Paul's Cathedral stands at 365 feet tall. 1 foot for every day of the year. Just look above the dome there at the cathedral. You can see black metal railings. That's a viewing platform. You can go up there and you can look over London. Mind you, you've got to climb to that platform. 527 steps. But the views, they are well worth the walk. If you haven't been to this cathedral whilst you're in London, you make sure you go. It's about £35 a ticket. Go to the painted gallery, visit St Paul's up to the right. We have the bridges ahead of us here. These are the Blackfriars bridges. This first bridge that you see in front of the boat, this is a new development. It's the new railway bridge. They've done a lot of work to this. They have upgraded it. They've turned it into the first station to span the river. So that means the platforms, they are above us. The reason they've done all this work, it was for the Olympics back in 2012. They thought everyone was going to rush to London. They would have to build a new station. Unfortunately, they finished this station above us just 3 years ago. So a little bit too late for the 2012 Olympics. A few years too late. But if you go through the bridge and you look in between them, can you see those red columns there? Those are the original foundations for the first railway bridge. That was called the Alexandra Railway Line. And that's what the steam trains, they would have passed over. Took cargo from London and took it down to a place in Kent called Dover, and then they sent it all around the UK. They had to remove the top because it become unsafe. So they left those trains there in the river as a memory for that service. this pitch back to its former glory. So that's what the noise is, sandblasting the left. Now as we go through the road bridge here at Blackfriars, if you have a look to your right hand side, can you see the building with the green slanted roof? That's the old City London School for Boys. This is where Sir Winston Churchill had his education before going on to Harrow College. This is an American bank today, J.P. Morgan. They are located in the school. Next door to that school, you see the Gothic building there? That is Zion College, and that is where Her Majesty the Queen keeps her personal diaries. It's also where the Bible, it was printed on the Caxton press from William Caxton. Zion College on the right there. All this works that you see here on the right, this is for the new Tideway project, the super sewer, which is going into London. They're about 6 years into that project. They have 4 years left to do. It's going to cost £6 billion, that super sewer going under the riverbed. Now as we go past this barge here on the right hand side, look on the embankment wall. Can you see the green lions' heads with rings in their mouths? These lions' heads, they were early flood indicators for the local authorities. Before we had the Thames barrier, which is further down the river at Woolwich, if the river water rose above those lions' heads, they would issue a flood warning and evacuate the buildings you see on the shore. They come up with a little rhyme to help them. Do join in if you know it. And it goes, if the lions are drinking, London is sinking. And if their heads are completely ducked, London is well and truly flooded. Flooded is the correct word. There is another word, I'm sure you're aware, but we're going to go with flooded. If you look to the right as well, you see that archway there with Father Thames inscripted into it. This is called Temple Arch, and that's a barrier line between two cities. The City of London, which we just left, and the City of Westminster, which we have now entered. That white ship on the right there, that used to be a part of the New Zealand Navy. This is the headquarters ship Wellington, was used during the Second World War. Today that ship is an honourable club for Master Mariners. To be a member of the club, you've got to serve as a sea captain for at least 10 years. 10 years to be a member of the club. Prince Philip, he was the chairman of that, sadly passed away now, but they just inducted a new chairman into the ship. If you go over to your left hand side, see the building with the electrical sign going across? It looks like a multi-storey car park. Well, it isn't. That is this country's National Theatre. Now you wouldn't think it to look at it. This building, it gets voted year on year to be the ugliest building on the banks of the River Thames. Now you might have heard the saying, do not judge a book by its cover. Well, it does apply to that building. Within the National Theatre, 3 of the finest auditoriums in the world. So National Theatre on the left there. If you go over to your right hand side, you see the building with the green dome. This is Somerset House. It was originally built for the Dukes and Earls of Somerset. This is where they used to keep all the birth, marriage and death certificates. It had a nickname, this building. They would call it the Hatcham, the Matcham and the Spatcham. And then the lovely taxman, the good old Inland Revenue, they took the building over and you could add Catcham to that list. This is an art gallery today. It's free of charge to go inside. Somerset House on the right there. The bridge that you see named the Ladies' Bridge. The ladies, they built the bridge whilst the men were out fighting for king and country. They faced it in a very expensive Portland stone, which originates from Dorset. That's a self-cleansing stone. When it rains in London, which is not very often, this bridge gets a thorough wash. You compare the underneath to the face of it, you can see where the water and the rain, it penetrates the bridge. A nice clean look on the face of Waterloo. If you go to your right hand side, you see the building there with the green tiles on the top? This is the riverside entrance to the luxurious Savoy Hotel. The Savoy Hotel is a 5-star here in London. On average, a night in there sets you back £500. If you want to stay there for New Year's Eve, you get a nice view of the fireworks from the wheel. That is £10,000. A very expensive hotel on the right there. Can you see on this right as well, the station up at the shores there? That station is called Charing Cross. Behind that station, you can get to places such as Soho, Chinatown, West End of London. That's all to the shores there on your right hand side. But in front of the boat, we do have the railway line with the walkways either side. This is called Charing Cross Railway Line. The walkways are known as the Golden Jubilee walkways. This is a known fact here on the River Thames. If you wave to these people on the first bridge and you get a wave back, you are guaranteed 7 years of good luck. In Europe, this is the London Eye. London Eye was put here for the year 2000, our millennium year. On its first day of operation, it made £250,000. If you look closely at the eye, you see the glass capsules on it. There are 32 of them. This is not a random number. It's because there are 32 boroughs in London. So each capsule, it represents an area. And each capsule that you see will hold 25 people. The London Eye, it does rotate at 1 mile per hour. You get on and you get off as it moves, and it will take 30 minutes to do a full rotation of the eye. You can actually hire out one of those glass capsules for £1,000. People, they get married on the London Eye. There has been over 500 weddings, and it is in the top 10 places represented the Commons, and Lambeth Bridge, which is the next one, that is red, so that represents the Lords. They used to go into Parliament via separate routes. They would not cross paths. If you look on top of the building, there are 2 towers. The Victorian Tower is ahead of us. And you see the other tower with the clock face on it. Everyone calls that Big Ben. Us Londoners, we also call it Big Ben. The name of that tower alone is the Elizabeth Tower. The reason it has the name Big Ben, well, it's a nickname for the 13.5-ton bell housed inside it. Strikes on the hour and the hour only. Now this was named after the Commissioner Works, Sir Benjamin Hall.